I'm obsessed. I'm deep in the Supernatural rewatch, and I am obsessed with every minute of it. I've posted a few things. Like, somebody pointed out there was a scene in one of the, like, Shining type episode where Sam says that maybe Dean is overcompensating, and that's why everybody thinks that he's gay. And Dean goes like, right. And there's a look that he gets on his face. Was like, that was not a heterosexual look on your face.
Oh, is that the one? It was like, you are quite butch.
Yeah. And he, like, contemplates. He's thinking.
I know, he just kind of, like, smiles and, like, looks down, and I'm like, Dean, what is that?
Yeah. And there was a scene, after he, like, survives his coma, that the doctor says, you must have an angel looking out for you, and I actually said out loud in my room by myself, not until next season. I hate myself. I hate it. But I will die on this hill. Dean and Mickey, if they had ever met, best friends. Best friends.
I know.
I need that fic has to exist. That headcanon has to exist. There's no way Mickey wouldn't love being a hunter. There's no way.
Dude, Mickey would eat that shit up. Like, Shameless, but it's supernatural.
Yeah, I will die on that hill. I fully believe. And, like, Sam and Ian would just be standing off to the side, like, should we just go?
Oh my god. Now I want to make, like, Shameless characters as supernatural characters.
Fuck yeah. I mean, just Dean and Mickey are just
literally, like,
queer
like,
boys with anger issues and daddy issues.
That's literally my that's me.
They're built the same way.
Like, you know what, like, kinning is and stuff like that. Like, Mickey and Ian are, like, two of my kins, and I'm like, they go so hand in hand. It makes so... I was talking to Sebastian about this, and he was like, that makes sense. And I was like, shut the fuck up.
So yeah, sorry, I'm gonna leave in that supernatural stuff. Because I don't even know if we've posted since the Supernatural finale aired, and my opinions on it have changed since then.
There's been, like, even though the show ended, there's been at least, like, 5 more episodes since it ended.
So even if I said before that I think the ending was good, it's only in that I think that Dean needed to be dead. They both needed to be dead for the show to be over. But I am still furious about the lack of Cass. The Stacey Abrams thing happened last night, and I expected more from that, but, like, no content came from that.
Yeah, the only content really were the bloopers at the very end. Those were so fucking funny.
Those were so good.
Jensen is a king of not breaking his NDA. He did not breathe a fucking word.
There was this... I don't remember the context of this, but I saw this on Tumblr. It was like, Jensen Ackles says he's a bottom and you're laughing. And I was like, oh my god, thanks!
I think he was, like, underneath Misha in the Zoom thing. So... But Jared cut his hair because he's doing Walker.
I don't care about Walker, and I'm not gonna watch Walker. I don't care about Cowboys.
Yeah. No, that's a mood. Yeah.
I finally was just released from my Supernatural curse. Now I have to wait until I'm done my Riverdale curse. I cannot join another CW thing. No way, Jose.
Yeah, no. I'm all here for Jensen and the boys, though.
I'm excited for
you're
that.
A villain?
Yeah. Because I googled who his character was gonna be, and his is basically, like, the mock Captain America, like, Nazi punching, like, built guy, and I'm so excited.
Which is funny because I'm pretty sure Jensen turned down Captain America to keep Supernatural.
Yeah, Jensen turned down Captain America. Yeah, Jensen turned down so many higher up, like, casting positions for Supernatural just to get fucked like that.
I saw so many people like, Jared, Walker, Texas Ranger, Jensen, the boys, Misha, Collins.
Oh. That's so bad.
I don't know if this is reading in audio form, but we are both crying laughing about
I love Misha so much.
Did someone tweet that? Because that is the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. Oh, I love Misha.
I love that man so much. That's like... because I feel like he's one of those people, he was never, like, an actor, but then, of course, he got, like, Supernatural, so, of course, he got that ride for the while. But, like, he hasn't really been in anything, and I personally don't think he's gonna really continue with, like, I don't think he's gonna, like, just go on another show, if that makes any sense. Because
Oh, yeah,
Misha has so much other that he could focus on as of now, but at the same time, I'm like, I love you!
Got his, like, charity work and his activism, and I think he's just still gonna be just active in fan bases for a while, which is,
Yeah.
we appreciate that.
Yeah, because he's active in other places that isn't just Supernatural, which is, like, opens his terrain. And
Yeah.
every person on Earth basically knows his name.
But anyway, this isn't a Supernatural podcast.
This is not a Supernatural podcast.
We're just both, queer and sad, so... Much like Dean and Mickey are the same people, the people that watch Shameless for Mickey and the people that watch Supernatural, we're the same fucking people. But this is a Shameless recap podcast, The Luck We Had. Hello. I'm Amanda.
I'm Evan. Welcome back.
We're your hosts. And we just got off filming the mini-sode that hopefully is out by now. But this is our mega episode, not mega, it's normal episode of season 2, episode 6 of Shameless, Can I Have a Mother? I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't like this episode that much. Except it's the Grammy and Sheila content is immaculate.
This episode, I like it because it's a lot of banter and it's funny banter, but at the same time, I'm just like...
Yeah. But so, you know what? We're really selling it. We're really selling how exciting this episode is going to be to everybody. Thank you all for listening, by the way. Somebody commented on our YouTube that we were their top most listened podcast in their Spotify Wrapped, and that they listened to like 7 episodes in one day, which is fucking crazy. And thank you so much for that. That's amazing. I will be shamelessly plugging the podcast. It is the only thing linked on my TikTok, and I've just been making Shameless and Supernatural content that's been getting views on TikTok. So, anybody that's here from TikTok, welcome. Hello. Hi.
Welcome.
It is snowing outside right now.
What? Lucky?
It literally wasn't snowing 10 minutes ago, and now full on snowing outside my window.
What the heck? It's supposed to rain from... Oh, it says it's supposed to snow next Tuesday. What the heck? It's supposed to rain for me in like an hour.
That's crazy, my guy. But yeah, we're gonna recap season 2, episode 6, Can I Have a Mother? If you want to hear about season 11 opinions that we have, that's in our mini-sode. Check out the mini-sode that has been released. It's like 25 minutes long, probably after the edit. And, that's where you'll hear that. I'm sure some of it will leak into our opinions here, but we're gonna power through and get back into season 2, the land of early times. All right. So this episode premiered on February 12th, 2012. It's called Can I Have a Mother? It was written by William H. Macy.
The man himself.
This is the only one he ever writes on, but he will go on to direct the one in season 5, Tell Me You Fucking Need Me. That's the one where Ian is in the psych ward in like the yellow shirt the whole time. One in season 9, Black-Haired Ginger, where Ian almost runs away to Mexico. And the one in season 10, Sparky, the one where Ian meets his PO. So, he directs some good ones. And I agree. I think the dialogue and the banter in this episode is really good, and I wonder how much of that was William H. Macy. Because, it's wild. I never knew that he wrote an episode.
Yeah, I knew he directed because I remember seeing, cast photos from... the later seasons and being like, look who's directing today, all that stuff.
So yeah, so now we know William H. Macy, Emmy, and now Shanola are 3 of the cast members that we know have directed episodes.
Hell yeah.
Fucking rad. So yeah, William H. Macy, Steven Schachter, this is the only episode he's ever written on. He also directs and writes a bunch of TV movies that I promise you've never heard of. They're all made for TV shit but it's a couple of them are with William H. Macy, so I wonder if they're just writing partners, and that's why this guy's only on one episode writing, because he probably was just helping William.
Yeah.
And LaToya, staff writer. She's been on every other episode we've talked about this season. This episode was directed by John Dahl, his second of 2 Shameless episodes he ever directs. The other one was Killer Carl in season 1. The guy directs all over Showtime, Ray Donovan, Dexter, Billions, Californication, House of Lies. He also directs all over Netflix. He's very busy. And the title, I realize we don't talk about the titles that much, except for when they pop up in dialogue. I think this is one of the rare times where the title Can I Have a Mother applies to multiple characters, Grammy Gallagher, Ethel, Sheila, and Karen a little bit.
Oh, yeah, true.
So I don't know, I liked that. Okay, William H. Macy, with your good titles. So the synopsis of this episode. Grammy Gallagher, who we met in season 1 when Ian and Lip went to visit her in prison to find Frank's brothers to figure out who Ian's dad was.
Mm-hmm.
Grammy Gallagher shows up on medical furlough and tries to track down a former meth lab protege that owes her money. Fiona double dates with Steve and his Brazilian girlfriend, and Frank discovers the identity of Eddie's insurance beneficiary. Previous on was done by Frank. No surprise there.
No surprise.
And in the previously on, Sheila is shut up in her room. Eddie is dead. Ian's mad about the West Point thing with Lip. Ethel and Malik are dating, and Ethel's husband is now dead. Karen is pregnant. Lip wants to be the dad, but Jody and Karen are married, and Steve is back.
Steve's back.
So let's jump into it. We open in the daycare, where Debbie is settling the books with one of the moms, charging her for late pickup because we love a hustle.
Mm-hmm.
A van pulls up, and the old woman, Grammy Gallagher, who we met back in season 1, she's wheeled out on a wheelchair from this van. And Debbie stops her at the door because Debbie doesn't know who this woman is. She's like, I'm sorry, if you're looking for like the nursing home, it's like down the block. And Grammy's like, I'm your grandmother, but nice to meet you. Grammy, also Ethel and Malik are like sitting out on the porch with their kids being cute. I love them. So she meets Ethel and Malik and then says some racist stuff about his name.
We love a comment like that.
Yeah, like, let's talk about this for a second. Everybody's like, oh, it's shameless. And so, like, they're saying raunchy and derogatory things. I don't believe the title of the show gives you a free pass to be racist all the time.
No, it doesn't.
They're a little too free-flying with their slurs on this show for a white male, mostly writer's room. I'm just a white, straight male, mostly writer's room. I'm just saying.
Just saying. Maybe if that's the demographic in the writer's room. No, even if your character may be of color, you don't get the power to write that.
Not saying all the writers, because like obviously LaToya Morgan isn't a white straight male, but you know there's a not a lot of not white straight guys in that room for the amount of slurs that come flying out of it. Anyway, then we got away to Steve. God, did you miss Steve? I missed Steve.
I missed him, but now I'm just kind of mad at him. Like, now actually, like, kind of going through everything. Like, I love Steve so much, but I'm just like, God damn, leave her alone.
I sort of love season 2 Steve because, like, he is flailing the whole time. He's like, I had to marry a drug lord's daughter because he was gonna murder me. And he's just, like, fully flustered the whole... He's not, like, the confident, swaggy Steve of the first season. But we're with Steve. He's in a hotel room. He's getting some cash together and telling a naked woman who is speaking Portuguese on the phone that he will be back soon. She doesn't fucking care about anything he's saying. She's on the phone with somebody.
Nope.
She's gorgeous, by the way. Estefania is gorgeous.
She's so pretty.
Back to the Gallaghers. Grammy and Carl are bashing a hole in the wall in the bathroom, and we get an update on where everybody is. It's all normal, except apparently nobody has seen Lip in days. Nobody has seen Lip in days.
Where is he?
Franco's missing for one night, and they launched a search party, but no concern for Lip being gone for days. I'm in my feelings about Lip, and I'm, like, angry that they don't care that he was... I know that later on they also don't care that Ian disappears, but, like, where's Lip?
Where did he go? He's only so many places where we see him. Whose house is he crashing at?
So anyway, Carl hits gold in the wall, and Grammy pulls out bags and piles of cash and a gun out of the bathroom wall. She tells Carl he can touch the gun, but never the trigger. Unless you want to shoot somebody. So, like, sort of responsible. He was gonna touch it anyway, I guess. And then she pays Debbie and Carl to keep their fucking mouths shut about the secret bathroom cash. You know what, Mood? If she paid me to be like, oh, you're the one with the stash of money. Yeah, I'll do whatever the fuck you want me to do. And then we go to the Jackson house, where Sheila is still too afraid to leave her bedroom. But she has to cook for Karen's wedding reception, so she's doing it on her bed in her bedroom.
She's
Jody-
so her power.
So she's got Jody operating like the kitchen downstairs and like shuttling things back and forth to her. You know, she's nothing if not ingenuitive.
Exactly.
She's also using Frank as a runner for the kitchen stuff, but he won't shut the fuck up about Eddie's money and getting access to Eddie's money.
He's so adamant that he doesn't even help his case because he's so like money.
And Sheila like tries to ignore him begging for a while, and then she's like, I can't let you be in charge of the money. You're an alcoholic. Queen shit right there.
Plus, as of now, they haven't really spoken about like them getting married or anything, right?
Yeah. And then Karen comes in with an enormous fish, and Frank gives up on his pestering and leaves them alone. And then Sheila and Karen have to have a conversation about the fact that Sheila is going to need to leave the bedroom to host the wedding reception.
She doesn't want to.
And I love Joan so much. The way that she handles Sheila spinning out is so brilliant. Like, the choices that she makes, oh, she's so good. Joan Cusack is a treasure. So then back to the Gallagher house, Debbie goes into Fiona's room to wake her up, because Fiona's doing that sleep after my shift thing, and tells her, Grammy is here in the house, just so you know. And then we cut... Then we get to Steve knocking on Tony's door next door and meeting a beautiful lady who calls Tony honey. And then Steve basically shoves some money into Tony's pocket. And Tony's like, I don't take bribes. And Steve's like, you are literally living in one.
You literally are a bribe.
You're living in one. So he's like, here's some money. Don't arrest me while I'm here. Okay, goodbye. Goodbye now. It's so like they squash that storyline so fast. They're like, I'm gonna give you money and you're gonna shut the fuck up and stay over there. And then a real quick scene of Grammy and Carl opening up an empty safe deposit box at the bank. So Grammy opens it, sees it's empty, and is super fucking mad about it. And then we go back to Steve. I think the key was like in the bathroom, in the bag.
Yeah, I think it was just like where all of the stuff she hid there, it was just kind of probably all like in like a pile or like another box.
And then we go back to Steve. Lip runs into him on the street. So, hello, what's up, Lip?
What's up?
And we find out that Steve has been in Brazil, and I'm mad that dick reduction jokes made me think of Ian and Mickey. Why am I like this? Like, he asks if Jimmy needed to get some plastic surgery, and Jimmy Steve's like, yeah, dick reduction. And I was like, remember that deleted scene? I hate myself. I hate that I'm like this. And then Fiona comes out on the porch in a cute little crop top and some shorts. Like, she looking cute. And she talks to Steve in, like, sort of a friendly, flirty way. And we find out Grammy is out of prison on medical furlough. She used to run meth labs, if you do remember. So she's out on medical furlough. The prison released her because she's apparently dying.
Yeah, I don't think they said like what she has yet, just that she's sick.
But like, that's why if you get released on medical furlough, it's because you're dying and they don't want to deal with you dying in the prison. So then Fiona and Steve talk about Tony's live-in girlfriend, and it's a little bit flirty. And then Fiona says she's seeing someone. Like, are you though? And Steve says so is he, and they should have a double date. And like, it's very like, I'm not backing down if you're not backing down. Like, they're both very stubborn, but they're really flirty and cute, and I like them a lot. Meanwhile, inside, the daycare is still going on. Grammy is doing research on Dr. Noah Pitts for some reason. And we see the picture of Dr. Noah Pitts, and yes, that's right, it's God.
It's Chuck Shirley! It's Rob Benedict! I remember watching that for the first time, and I was like, hey, what's up?
That's part of the reason I'm glad I'm keeping in that supernatural banter in the beginning, because we get an appearance of God in this episode of Shameless.
Now we know God used to run a meth lab.
Nope. Before he was writing the Winchester story, he was running a fucking meth lab. Wait, this might have even been after he joined Supernatural.
Yeah, because
This
he
was
was
2012.
his first episode in Supernatural, I think, is season 4 or season 5.
That's like 2009 or 10.
Yeah, so this was after his first appearance on Glee. I mean, not on Glee. Sorry. My friend texted me about Glee, and I just read that while trying to say Supernatural.
Not Glee! Oh no. Okay, sorry, that was a tangent. So inside, daycare is still going on. Grammy's doing research. But before we find out why she's looking up this doctor man, we see Frank go into the alibi. He gives some nonsense speech about economics to some guy. And then Grammy sneaks up on him. Suddenly Grammy is at the alibi too. And Kev seems to know her. He's like, what up? What are you doing out of prison? She's like, tricked him into thinking I was dying. So she's saying that she's not dying. She tricked them into thinking she was dying. Things are very tense between her and Frank. And he is struck silent. Like all of a sudden he's not rambling being con man Frank anymore. He's afraid.
Yeah, you could tell him and Grammy got some beef.
Frank is afraid of this woman. I kind of love this. And then back at Golden Hour, all of these scenes like outside the Gallagher house were like during peak Golden Hour. It's like gorgeous lighting going on. Fiona and Lip go up on the roof, which I don't know if we ever see again, the roof of the Gallagher house. And Fiona tries to find out why Lip and Ian are still fighting, but Lip won't talk about it. So Fiona tries to get Lip to move on from Karen, because she's like, Karen's married, she's having a baby. I need you to move past her. I need you to forget about this woman. Neither of them are brave enough to kick out Grammy. She's like, you do it. He's like, you fucking do it. I'm not doing it. And then Fiona's like, make it right with Ian. You two are my rocks. I can't do this without you. I think about that line a lot. Like I said, when Fiona left, Lip and Ian became the main characters. Just saying. They are her rocks. Back at the alibi, Grammy complains to Frank and says she needs a ride to see the guy who ratted her out. And he's like, I don't have a car. She's like, you're a fucking loser. And then they ask Kev for his truck, and he says no. Grammy just gives him cash. We're taking your truck.
We're gonna take your truck.
Then we join Fiona and V as they clock into work and talk about Steve and the double date. V is very in favor of Fiona going and teases her about her shitty date with Craig Heisner. But V's like, no, you've got to go and check out what the situation is. I love Best Friends. V's like, no, I'm here for the tea. I need content. You need to go to that. And then it's nighttime at the Jacksons' house. Sheila wakes up in the middle of the night because Frank has wet the bed. Frank is so afraid of his mom. He's starting to wet the bed, which is, I love that aspect. I love seeing Frank afraid. It's so good. The next morning, Lip walks into the cash and grab where Ian is working. He tries to talk to Ian about Grammy and even fucks up the store trying to get a rise out of him. And this is the first time we hear, like, the chin. Lip's like, really? You're gonna give me the chin? And it's like Cam's little, like, stubborn.
I don't want to talk.
And Lip is fully having a fucking breakdown, but Ian holds strong and doesn't say anything. And yes, as a matter of fact, I have read the fan fictions that imply that while Lip is in the store freaking out and Ian is sitting there silently watching all of this, that the security guard that works with Ian is mysteriously missing and is maybe underneath the counter.
Your mind.
I think I might have written one where like they were talking about that time that Lip came in and fucked up the store, and I might have written that Mickey said, yeah, he almost gave me a fucking headache banging on the counter like that. And I hated myself for it, but...
Oh my god.
I mean, where was the security guard, and why was Ian suddenly can't move, tight-lipped, all tense? And then back at the Jacksons, Grammy has showed up at Sheila's house to see Frank. Jody answers the door and then goes to cook in the kitchen. Sheila tries to compliment Frank to his mom. She's like, you really raised a wonderful man. He's very clean. No, he isn't.
No, he's the dirtiest man on earth.
She like can't even pretend to say nice things about him. And then she goes upstairs to get Frank, and he has tied the bed sheets together for a rope to try and sneak out the bedroom window.
I understand. Grammy's so intimidating.
She really is. She's got like a scar across her neck, like somebody tried to slit her throat, but it didn't work. Like it's crazy. And then in the meantime, let's go check in on the balls. Let's do a little.
How are they doing?
Check in with the balls. Ethel still calls Kev Mr. Kevin, which I find so adorable.
It's so cute.
All of Ethel's sister wives are at the house to tell her that her husband Clive has been murdered in the American prison. They're like all in black, and they sit down and they do like a prayer circle and they try to pray with Ethel.
And they're both they're so uncomfortable.
They say they're working to bring Ethel home, and Kev is so against that. He can't even stand it. He's like, he puts his foot down. He's like, fuck, you are taking her back there. Fuck you. You're not getting this kid out of this house. Like, I love it, Dad. At the Jacksons, Sheila has made it to the staircase. She made it to the staircase.
So proud of her.
So she's sitting there, like, talking through the bars of the staircase, trying to bond with Grammy Gallagher, and then she invites her to Karen's wedding reception. Grammy could not give a shit about any of this.
She didn't give a fuck. She doesn't know these people.
She came here to get Frank and leave, and now she's sitting here stuck talking to Sheila. She insults Sheila, like, a lot, like, right to her face. And Sheila's like, "You're a very rude person," and kicks her out of the house.
Queen shit.
I am a Sheila Jackson defense squad. Nobody makes her cry. So then Frank and Grammy are stuck in traffic in Kev's truck. Frank tries to talk about the kids, says Lip is smart, and that Ian's a real lady killer. He's really nailing all of them.
Yeah, all the ladies.
So Frank doesn't know one thing about his kids. Not one thing. And Grammy doesn't fucking care.
Nope.
She doesn't fucking care. She tells him to shut the fuck up. And then we go, and he does. Somebody tells Frank to shut the fuck up, and he shuts the fuck up.
She's one of the characters that can literally, like, just, like, silence him. Like, everyone else Frank doesn't give a shit about, but Grammy's, like, the one person that, like, puts him on edge at all times.
I love that.
Good, he deserves to be put in his place.
I love that aspect of her. And then over at the double date, Steve and his girl are late, but Fiona is looking quite remarkable, if I say so myself, with her date Adam, which is the rich guy she's been fucking from the
He's
club.
looking scrumptious. I like Adam, even though he has money.
Steve is so cocky. Why do I like it?
He is so good and makes me so mad that I can't even draw the line for myself.
And then he talks to Adam for a while, and then we find out Steve and this woman are married. He married this woman. Estefania. He married her. And Fiona's like, you what? You did what now? So Fiona's like, I need to get out of here. So she goes up to go to the bathroom. And Steve wastes no time. He makes up some other stupid excuse with no subtlety at all and follows her into the bathroom. And he explains, they immediately start screaming at each other in the bathroom. Their chemistry, I will never get over their chemistry. Steve explains he had to marry Estefania to stay alive because his business he got into drugs. His business pissed off her dad, who was a drug kingpin in Brazil, and he was gonna get murdered. So he married Estefania to prevent himself from being murdered.
Like, he's smart, but goddamn, how does he get himself in these situations? Because, like, for all we know, he was working with cars, and now he's working with, like, basically a cartel or something.
So she's like, well, who the fuck does that woman think I am? And he's like, she thinks you're my cousin. And then he says he misses her, and then in blink of an eye, they truly can't keep their fucking hands off of each other.
But then this scene makes me sad, because then, poor rich man.
They start
Estefania does not know what the fuck's going on.
No.
She's just there for a good time.
She couldn't give a shit either. Like, the guy Fiona is legitimately dating, but, like, spoiler alert for a little bit down the road, Estefania's fucking some other guy. Like, she doesn't give a shit about Steve. So they start to fuck in the bathroom, and it's like the pilot episode kitchen fucking. It's that wild, frenetic energy with them. And they get pretty far into fucking before Fiona's like, no! And pushes him away and, like, stops it. And then back at the table, Estefania's just chilling, speaking to Adam in Portuguese. And Adam's like, I don't know what you're saying to me.
He's just, like, smiling at her, like, I don't know what you're saying.
And then Fiona and Steve rejoin the table, and Adam figures out what just happened right away. He's like, I'm not stupid. You were clearly just fucking in the bathroom just now. So he gets up and breaks up with Fiona and leaves. And then from chaos to sorrow, Ethel is praying in her room. Kevin V are worried about losing her and the baby. They're worried that these women are going to find a way to take Ethel away from them. And Ethel overhears Kevin V saying that the sister wives are evil, and she objects to that. And Ethel is just so hurt and sad, and I want to hug her.
She's literally the only character on this show. I want an Ethel and Malik spinoff. Where is it? Where are they? Are they happy? Are their babies grown up?
She comes in pure, she stays pure, and she leaves happy. Like, Ethel is the dream. But let's catch up with Grammy Gallagher, who is meeting with her old meth lab partner, Chuck.
I love this scene because they're already in his office and he walks in, like, trying to take, like, a normal appointment, and then he sees who it is and he's like, fuck? He's like, I thought you were in prison.
I feel so, it's like another actor. I'm like, I will never see you as anything other than God. He apparently stole $200,000 from her. That was what was in that safe deposit box.
God damn. That's a lot of fucking money.
She says, she's like, we had a fucking deal about what would happen when shit went down. And when shit went down, you flipped on me. She's like, you need to pay me my $200,000 tomorrow, doctor, or you will be sorry. Because he's a plastic surgeon. So she's like, how do you not have money laying around?
Yeah, exactly. They have a lot of money.
And then she goes back to Frank in the truck, and he tries to get her to cut him in on whatever it is, because he doesn't know what the deal is with her. But he tries to get her to cut him in, and she ignores that and instead steals his ice cream out of his hand.
I love her power.
And he, like, throws a tantrum like a child. Oh, it's so good.
He gets so mad because he's never told no, and he can do everything he wants, but then the one person that can, like, has him wrapped around their pinky. Damn.
So Grammy stole her partner Chuck's picture of his, I don't know the character's name, it's Chuck. He stole the picture of his family from his desk, and she sort of half cooks up a plan to kidnap his children. And apparently Frank won't stoop that low. Frank won't kidnap children. Okay, he's got a line. Good to know. Good to know he's got a line.
For once.
Yeah. So Grammy, she like has a flare up of something in her chest and has to sit down, and she sends Frank to get her medication from the pharmacy, and he's like, I need money, so she gives him money for it. And as she's giving it, she says one of the best lines, all my life I waited for that phone call. Peggy, there's been a mix-up at the hospital. He's not your son.
She's brutal.
Imagine having a meth-cooking, murdering ex-con for a mom and still being the disappointment of the family.
Imagine that. That's just how you know how bad Frank is and everyone dislikes him. Like, she can have all of those traits under her belt, but nope, Frankie, you're still the worst.
His relationship with his mom, though, super explains him and Monica. This man has mommy issues.
Oh,
And
big ol' mommy issues.
Monica is nothing if not a manifestation of mommy issues. And then we jump back to the doctor's office where he is having a consultation with a woman and her exposed breasts because he's a plastic surgeon.
Yeah, of course we had to see boobs.
And Frank walks in on him in his office and like joins him in his... They leave the patient and they go to his office. And Frank's like, I want my mom's money right now. She's going to kidnap your children. And the doctor picks up a hollowed out book from the bookshelf and hands Frank $75,000 and says, that's it. That's all she's getting. It's all I have. It's like my go box in case she ever flipped on me. No, take this money and she has to fucking forget me.
At least $75,000 in cash. That's a lot of money just to have lying around.
He has that and like passports in a hollowed out book.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
His go box. And then we go back over to a still sad Ethel. And Malik is there, and they're pushing their kids in their strollers in the park and talking about Ethel possibly being forced to go back to her old family where she would be given a 65-year-old husband, Clive's brother.
Ew.
And he's younger than Clive, but like, Malik is like, that is not an option, Ethel. No. And Malik's like, you're not a little kid anymore. You're 14.
Oh.
She's like, you're not a little kid anymore. You get to decide what's best for you and your son. So, I love Malik. I love Malik so much.
He's such, like, a good token character that we got, that we had little time with, but, like, he's so good and so nice. And
he and Ethel are such a good fit.
They're
like,
so cute.
And then we go back to Frank and Granny. Oh, Granny has been casing out the guy's kids. And Frank's like, it's over. I got your money. Here's $50,000. And he's like, I don't want you going back to prison. I wanted to just end this. And if you think it's right, you can give me a cut of the money. You know, besides the $25,000 he already took.
Yeah.
She's like, are you kidding me? I was going to get $200,000 and you negotiated him down to $50,000. Like, guess who else is pissed off? That's right, it's Fiona. She's angrily folding laundry and bitching about Steve and his wife while V eats chicken and listens. And Debbie comes down and V fills her in on all of it just immediately. She just spills it. And Fiona's like, oh, any privacy? Do I get any privacy? And Debbie's like, no, you don't.
No, you don't.
And including telling Ian and Carl about Ethel's dead husband. So, like, V downloads everybody on what's happening.
Of course she does, as she's supposed to.
We love some exposition. Lip comes home and flips Ian off and, like, just in his face, finger in his face, and walks past him. And Fiona's like, still? This is still happening. Back with Grammy and Frank, she counts the 50,000 out, and then while Frank is driving, stabs him in the leg with a screwdriver, demanding the rest she knows he took.
The fact that she stabs him while he's driving. I'm like, girl, what?
And I love that she knows him so well. She's like, you gave me 50,000. I know you have more than that.
Oh, yeah.
So, he, like, gives her he gives her another 10, and then she's like, is that it?
Doesn't she, oh, it hurts.
Like, twists it, and he's like, fucking fine! And he gives her the rest. And she gets all riled up. She's like, God damn it, you got me going again. Give me my meds that she sent him to get. He did not get her meds.
Nope.
And now she's just even angrier at him. And he's like, don't stab me again. The next morning, we're back with Lip. He's smoking under the L, staring at Karen's house. You know, very healthy behavior.
As you do.
The rest of the Gallaghers are at Karen's wedding reception. Fiona, they're all like talking and chatting in the wedding reception. And Fiona says about Jody, it's like an offhanded thing. She's like, he's doing like an urban version of a tuxedo.
I love her.
He's got like a bolo tie and a vest. Oh, I love him.
Oh my
Jody's
gosh,
so good.
How good would more Fiona and Jody scenes have been?
I feel like Jody didn't interact with, like, anyone besides, like, Frank and Lip. Like, those are the only, like, more outside characters besides, like, the, like, that Sheila Karen household.
What I wouldn't give for Jody to have just more scenes with other people. Like,
Yes.
So Frank is still trying to cook up a scheme with the guy from the bar to rip off Sheila, because he got the guy to, like, pretend he was an economics professor or something. And Sheila misunderstands the scam that Frank's trying to pull so much that she's like, oh, so I should just give all of my money to an orphanage. Frank's like, no, you misunderstand me. She's like, you know what? I need to go away from here. And she just goes upstairs. She gets overwhelmed and goes upstairs. Who else is invited to the reception, apparently? Steve and his wife, somehow.
Why are they invited? No one knows them, besides, like, the fucking Gallaghers.
And then they're immediately confronted with Debbie. Debbie walks up to him and goes, what's up, Jimmy?
I love her.
'Cause
She
remember this
doesn't
one-
hold back.
Nobody else knows that his name is Jimmy. Just her.
Does Fiona not know?
No, because Debbie thought that when at the end of last season, Debbie's like, I need to tell you something about Steve. And Fiona's like, I already know, because Fiona thought Debbie meant the car stealing.
Oh, yeah, but Debbie knows about, like, the whole double life, but Fiona only thinks that she was referring to, like, the drug stuff. Or,
Yeah.
I mean, the car stuff.
So Debbie calls him Jimmy, and he's like, oh, we need to stop that conversation right now.
Oh, yeah, this is when she starts just getting bribed by him this whole season to keep her mouth shut.
No, that was last season. This season, she's just over it.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'm getting my timelines mixed up.
And then Kev teases Fiona about fucking Steve in the bathroom. And Fiona's like, V, you told him? And Kev's like, we don't keep secrets from each other.
The only couple.
Like, you have to know, if you're telling V something, Kev is going to hear about it. If you're telling Kev something,
Oh, yeah.
V is going to hear about it. That's just how it works. And then upstairs, we see Karen. She walks in to give Sheila a pep talk. She's like, you're doing great, Mom. You're doing awesome. And Sheila's, like, holding a drink. And Karen's like, you know you can't drink on your meds, right? And she's like, yeah, I'm just holding it to make other people comfortable so that I don't feel weird, even though you won't leave the staircase. And she ushers Karen out of the room, and then she cries, takes a handful of pills, and washes it down with wine.
Oh, Sheila.
We go back out to Lip on the curb. He's had a lot of beers, and he's been chain smoking, and he's ready to make some mistakes.
Yeah, he is.
He walks into the party, and Fiona right away is like, hi, that's a bad idea. Why are you here? And he goes over to Grammy, who's at the bar of the house, and they start drinking together. She's like, are you 21? He's like, in 4 years.
So at least we have an age given to one of the characters for once.
He's 17, still got it. Oh, sorry, minor season 11 thing.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, I was like, we didn't talk about this in season, and we didn't talk about this part in fucking season. Everyone's ages are different again, and what, Carl's older than Debbie now?
Yeah, Debbie's like, sorry, I'm not gonna cut this into the minisode. Go back and listen to the minisode. Debbie says that the girl, Julia, was 17, which is only 10 months younger than Debbie, which makes Debbie 18, but Carl
Is 19.
But Debbie has always been a year older than Carl.
Yeah, Debbie's always been older than Carl, and they aged Carl up, I think, more so for the purpose, so he's a little bit closer to the age you can be to be a cop. And then, but at the same time, like, I feel like Julia, I remember, I think in season 10 they didn't say she was 17. I think she was like, she said she was like 16. Like,
Yeah.
they literally said she was 16 in season 10 when they were like getting together or whatever, and then Debbie was 18. So still rocky, but still not that bad because like it's only like a 2-year gap. But they like they literally reversed all of their ages just so they could create another plot point.
Yeah, and I don't even want to ask how old they think Ian is.
Ian, okay, but like this is no shade to like Cameron Monaghan, but Ian looked like he aged 4 years since season 10. Cameron does not look the same. I was like, you look like a man. Like, he looks like a man.
He's got like season 2 hair, but he's season 10 beefy.
Yeah, like he looks like a child still, but he's like, his face is so much aged, but like, obviously that's just Cameron getting older, but Cameron's like, what, only like 25?
26 maybe, yeah.
Like,
Meanwhile, Noel is fully in his mid-30s.
I know.
Like, when he started Mickey, he was 25. And now it's season 11. 11 years later. And now Mickey is supposed to be, like, 25.
Yeah, which is really funny.
Or maybe Mickey's supposed to be in his late... I don't know. So then in season 2, let's say Mickey and Lip are the same age. Season 2, Mickey is 17. So in season 11, Mickey is... 26? Does that math work? That math works. Yeah, 9 seasons later. Yeah. See, this is what fucking happens to us, man. But like, yeah, we hadn't covered that in the minisode. Age is weird and it doesn't matter. But in this scene in season 2, back in time, Lip is 17. I just love that. She's like, "Are you 21? In 4 years." And then she pours him a drink. Sheila is not happy that Grammy is at the party and wants Grammy to leave the fucking house.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
It's the first time we see Sheila get like truly defensive of somebody other than against somebody other than Eddie. Frank's like, "Nope, sorry, I am terrified of that woman, so she'll be staying." And then Steve's wife is Stefania is very nice to Fiona, gives her a big old hug, and then Fiona and Steve like grin at each other and they're like, "So the thing that happened in the bathroom." "Nothing happened in the bathroom. I don't know what you're talking about." And then the speech, the Sheila speech. She loves Karen so much. I love her. It's very sweet. She very offhandedly mentions that Frank might be Karen's baby daddy, but apparently we learned too much about Frank and his dick in this speech. And then we learned that Eddie didn't like being pegged.
Lame.
Like predictable, but lame. And that he had a weird lump on his dick. I don't need to know all of this.
Yeah, we didn't need to know this about Eddie. He's dead.
And then Sheila's like, "The Gallaghers, you guys are such good friends to this family, especially you, Lip." And then Grammy like interrupts her with like a heckle, and Sheila's like, "Well, you weren't even invited. Why did they let you out? 'Cause you're a loud, mean, vicious bitch."
Yes, Sheila, clap back.
And oh my god, Karen tries to call the cat fight off and Grammy's like yelling back at her and Sheila's like, "Have I offended you in my home where you are an interloper?" And then the best line, I think about this line all the time. "You've got a demon mind and a devil's womb and heart and your coochie smells of brimstone and sulfur."
Sheila's like screaming. I love her.
Give Joan Cusack an Emmy right now for that line. And then Grammy pulls out a gun and fires it at the ceiling. But like A+ work from Joan Cusack. Like fucking incredible shit. Tony the cop, who is at the reception, because of course he is, takes the gun from Grammy, and then Frank, in all the chaos, sneaks upstairs to call the cops on his mom. Then Tony goes outside when the cops get there. He's like, "It was a misunderstanding, people. You can go away." And all of the cops just listen to him.
They don't even come and check it. That's just the one cop in Chicago tells them we're good.
Yeah. Frank chases the cops down the street, but like to no success. They're not coming back. Tony said it's all good, so they went away. After that fiasco, Karen's in the backyard crying about the party, and Lip comes up to her, and he's like, "That's my baby." And she says, "If you want it, like, what, do you want it?" And he's like, "No, I want you to get an abortion." Which, like, is like one of the shittiest things Lip has ever said.
Yeah, I get it, but that's not how you even start that conversation regardless.
Yeah, she slaps him. That was not alright, that comment. She could get one if she wants one, but like that wasn't the way to. And then we go to Ethel in her room. She's packing, but when Kev knocks, she hides it from him. And he comes in to check on her because he's worried about her because he's a dad. And he's like, "You can you can talk to me and V if you, like, need somebody to talk to. And she says, and he's like, everyone was asking for you at the party. They all missed you.
They all love Ethel. Ethel has a family. They're her family.
And then she tells him thank you for everything and gives him a hug. And
It hurt.
it was really sweet and it made me really sad. Then at the Gallagher's, Grammy is asleep in Frank's bed. He picks up the gun, raises it to her head, and then puts it down. He doesn't have the balls. And then in the morning, Fiona is woken up by Debbie again, asking if they can shop for school clothes today. And Fiona's like, did I already commit to doing that?
Debbie's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Fiona's like, well, if I already committed to doing that, then yes, then that's what we can do today. And Debbie's like, so, how was it like seeing Jimmy? Who? Debbie's like, Jimmy, Steve.
Jimmy Steve, the person you said you knew about already.
So she's like, she spills the beans. Here are some beans all over Fiona's bed. She finds out everything about Jimmy Steve.
Good, about time.
And now we all get to start calling him Jimmy Steve. Just all the time. But before we can ingest that, and before Fiona can ingest that, we hear Kev say, V, they're gone. Because he's freaking out because Ethel and Jonah took their things and fucking left. They're gone. But real quick, after that, we have to see Carl playing Xbox in the Gallagher living room. And Debbie talking to Granny. And Granny tells Debbie, go get me coffee. And Debbie comes back and she hands Debbie a new laptop.
Goddamn.
Grammy out here buying presents. And then we hear Fiona leave Jimmy a voicemail. She's like, hey, Jimmy, go fuck yourself. Hangs up on him.
She's so mad, but good. She deserves to be mad.
And then Kevin V come in with the news about Ethel, asking if Debbie knows anything. And Debbie's like, no, I just thought they were running late. I don't know anything about it. And then Kev's like, he thinks Ethel's sister wives took her. And Grammy's like, I can help you in the daycare because Ethel is not going to be here in the daycare. And Fiona's like, well, let's chat. And she sits with Grammy to have a chat. And Grammy's like, I'm not trying to scam you. I legitimately just want to be a grandma. I missed a lot. I'd like to just be here.
The one nice thing that Grammy said.
Yeah. And she's like, I know I've been buying them gifts. I'm sorry. I got Grammy time to make up for. Here's $500 as a peace offering.
I'll take that shit.
Fiona's like, you know what? Might not be too bad having Grammy around for a hot minute. Then we go back to the Jacksons. Sheila is looking at a letter from the life insurance company. Eddie left all of his money to Karen. Sheila's like, this is so great. Now I don't have to worry about it. Eddie knows I wouldn't worry
She's so
about it.
happy that she doesn't need to, like, continuously support Karen. They'll have so much money.
And then Frank finally snaps. He's pissed. He goes off on Jody about he's like, you hit the fucking jackpot. I've been here for months. I've been putting in all the work. And Sheila is like standing here listening to that. And she's like, you need to get the fuck out of my house.
Yep.
And like you can see it in his head. He's like, oh shit, I said that out loud.
Yeah, he fucked up. Jody saw the true colors.
And Sheila's like, oh, you said that all out loud. You need to leave. And then back to the Ethel hunt. Kev is on the phone with social services, and then V opens like the fridge and finds a note on the milk in the fridge. Ethel left it there because she knew they'd see it eventually, not right away, but they'd see it. And then they go into the back. Kev's like, I'm gonna get my truck. We're gonna just go out looking for her. And they go back into the backyard toward the garage to get the truck, and we see that the backyard is dug up. Because remember a few episodes back when Kev was burying those garbage bags full of weed?
Ethel helped him with that, and you know what her and Malik did?
They dug that shit up. Kev and V are like, oh, fuck. V's like, how much weed was that? He's like, it was a lot. It was a lot of weed. And she's like, well, who's gonna buy weed plants off of a girl in a little house on a prairie dress? Oh, right, Malik.
And then I love it because it cuts to Malik and Ethel carrying each other's babies, getting on a megabus, and then like if you look out like the window behind them, it's like these two guys just like holding the two big trash bags just to be like, okay.
And Malik's got like a wad of cash in his hand, but they have each other's kids on their laps.
I know.
They hold hands and the bus drives away, and it's the best.
It's the saddest, but also like the best like exit, because like I love those characters so much, but I'm so happy they were able to like be free.
Like I wish more than anything we could have gotten more time with Ethel. I love Ethel and she's amazing, but like
I love her.
It's so good. I love it. Oh my god. So it's pure, it's happy, and like they will forever be like the gold standard of storylines in this show. So then Frank has been kicked out of Sheila's. He returns home, And Grammy catches him looking through the mail for Ginger's social security check that Frank always gets. And Frank is on the fucking brink right now between Sheila and his mom. And then she lays down some demands and he snaps at her. And then she, like, gives it right back to him. And Fiona is on the staircase, like, with the laundry, overhearing the whole thing. And, like, you could see on her face, like, developing a little bit of sympathy for Frank. Of, like, the way Grammy is talking to him. And then after Grammy's done talking to him, Fiona goes outside, ignores a phone call from Steve, gives Frank a beer and goes, "Yeah, it's tough. My parents suck too."
I love her. She's like, "Fuck you, Frank. Will you do this shit to us? No sympathy."
And this starts like a tiny bit of a little friendship between them for like the next episode. And Emmy and Bill Macy getting to work together is
Oh yeah.
And then we cut to credits. And the after credit scene is Carl waking up in the van with Frank, because that's where Frank is allowed to sleep now. Frank wet the bed again.
And then he just he's like, "You wet the bed," and then Frank just rolls over.
Yeah, he's like, "Find a dry spot. I'm not moving." And then the music, there was no like song at the end. It was just guitar score, no song attached to it. But that's it. That's the episode.
That's the episode. How'd you feel about this episode?
Like I said, it's not one of my favorites. Because Ian literally doesn't even say a word, or maybe he says one or two. Liam straight up isn't in the episode because Liam.
Baby
don't know where he
barely
is.
But it was fine. The Ethel and Malik thing was great.
Yeah.
Sheila's confronting Grammy, marvelous.
Love it.
I enjoy the Grammy storyline. It only lasts a few episodes, but I enjoy it. But that's it. And I'm not wild about it.
Yeah, like, I feel like we don't really gain anything when she's that present. Like, she does add some to the storyline, but, like, in the long run, like, she's just there for the plot. Like every other fucking new character that we meet and see and stuff like that. But I like her. I like how she's just, like, bad to the bone, doesn't give a shit, and, like, will not take shit from anyone. And I like how mean she is to Frank, because someone needs to be mean to Frank.
Yeah, I did love that. I think it was, you know what? For Bill Macy writing it, I think it fit well with the vibe of the show. Like, it didn't feel like a wild departure because I think he knows the characters really well. When I say Frank is not the main character, it's not because, I mean, Bill Macy's wife I have opinions about. I have a few opinions about Bill Macy, but, like, he's a good actor. Frank is just not a character I care about.
Yeah, that's how I am exactly. I, like, don't give a shit about Frank, but then that also needs to play into, like, then that actor is playing their character so well, like, that like, you can hate their character so much, so that means they're doing a good job.
Same thing with Monica. Like, Monica makes me want to crawl out of my skin because Chloe Webb is so good. Monica and Nancy Spungen, she just, like, gets all of the insanity.
I always forget she was in Sid and Nancy. Her power.
Yeah. And then, like we said before, it's the same with all the characters we hate. The guy who plays Cash, the guy who plays Terry. Like, we hate them because they're great at their job.
Yeah, they're so good at their jobs. Because then that's, like, if you have a character that, like, is malicious and you're like, oh, you love them, and I'm like, you need to be able to accept that they're a bad character, but still also enjoy that character and that actor's, like, adaptation of said character.
Yeah, like, we love the characters we love because the actors are doing an amazing job, like Cam and Noel and Emmy and Jeremy. And then we hate the characters we hate because the actors are doing an amazing job. But yeah, it was a perfectly fine episode. This is going to be a short one for us, but we have the minisode that's the first one should be out by the time this is up. Yes. And then the second episode of season 11 is going to air. It's going to be bittersweet to say goodbye to the show, but you and I will be stuck in this hell for a while.
For God knows how long.
God knows how long, but we chose this.
We did.
But, you know, I'm excited. I'm excited to get into it. I already did the notes for the next episode. The next episode I'm hype about. It's going to be a good one. Mm-hmm. And then 208. You know who we get in 208. It's going to be a good 208. It's gonna be a good
we know what we're getting.
I'm going to try to finesse a guest for 208 too. So we'll see.
Please.
We'll see how that goes. Next week we're probably going to have a guest as well.
I think so.
Most likely we're going to have a guest. But thanks everybody for joining us again.
Thank you so much.
Please like, comment, subscribe, rate, review us on Apple Podcasts. Yeah, comment on our YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube. Just tell us you like us. And follow the show's Twitter. at luckwehadpod on Instagram, at luckwehadpod on Twitter. Email us luckwehadpod@gmail.com. The link to our website is in the bios of our Twitter and our Instagram. And you can also find the link to our YouTube channel, which is just the Luck We Had Pod, and our Instagram on my TikTok, which is at abnormalamanda_18. You can find me on Instagram at abnormalamanda18 and on Twitter at abnormalamanda. Evan, where can they find you?
You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at I wanna die 4000, and then if you want to follow me on Twitter, where I'm not that active, it's Internet Life Yo, and then go ahead and check out our website. It is luckwehadpod card.co, card with two R's. It will have all the links to all the websites to listen to the podcast, any ways to get in contact with us. Also, Amanda wrote an amazing dissertation on Mickey Milkovich, which is now on the website. You guys can go ahead and check that out. It's a PDF, open for everyone. And yeah, thank you so much for listening, everyone.
But you can follow us on all of the things and listen to our podcast, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
A mini-sode, hopefully, of 1102. Let's see how angry Shameless makes us. And then 207 in a couple of weeks. But thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.